What is up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is January 17th, 2020, and we're back at again on the charts for another session. Hopefully everyone can hear me and the audio is good. So before we start today's session, I do want to have some admin stuff. For those that are on YouTube, please give us a like and a subscribe at Forex Lens. Forex Lens Inc. Just go ahead and subscribe. Have the notifications on so every time we go live or post a new video, you always get notified. We have different stuff. We have Ichimoku, GAN, Renko charts, and then we have stochastic scalping strategies, risk management, how to avoid stop hunts. We have a lot of educational content on our YouTube. All you have to do is subscribe, have the bell notification on, and every time we upload content every day, every single day, you're going to get new educational content completely free. And if you want to join our community in our portal, in our nice little portal right here where we have a chat, just go to forexlens.com/forex-trading-room and sign up for either a free membership or a full access membership. This includes all our signals, all our sessions, and I'll be giving a 25% off coupon code at the end of the session, so you can get 25% off for your first month, so stay tuned for that. So without further ado, I'm going to make sure the chat is ready to go. For those that are on YouTube, while I go through some of these trades that we took this week, I want you guys to send me some pair recommendations and tell me what you think about the trades that we're taking. It's always nice to get another opinion, and that way at the end of the session we have some pairs I can look at. So if you want me to look at things like Aussie yen or some exotics, just let me know in the chat, and I'll help you out. So this week was pretty solid. We had some good trades, and we had one or two trades that were kind of affected by the news, but we try to stay as far as away as possible. For example, Euro yen and USD yen were a bit affected by the trade deal, but I think we weathered that storm pretty well and found other trade setups to bring in some profits. And the first one is EURUSD. So if you look, I did a live session on December 13, 2019, and it was called Bold Predictions for the Forex Market in 2020. And for EURUSD, you can watch the full analysis on our website, but on our YouTube. But my overall bias was short term was a short and long term was a short. If you look in the video, I have EURUSD going as low as 1.07300. We obviously have to take out these levels first, and the first level we have to take out is 1.09960. If we go to the chart, we can see we're coming very close to that level, and we're almost there at that level. And so when we take that level out, we're going to go to this previous low, 1.10700, and then we'll trickle our way down to the level we just talked about, 1.10000 or 1.09960, so that area. So we're kind of like 40% of the way there to take out this low, and then we have this target, which is 1.08600, and then finally 1.07300. So we are very bearish for the euro. That's because we're bullish on the dollar. We think the dollar's gonna have a great year this year. Last year was more focused on cutting rates and dealing with the trade war and trying to create jobs within the country. But now that phase one of the U.S.-China trade deal is signed, and have a stronger dollar, a more dominant dollar, and unemployment's at a 50-year low. CPI, core retail sales, consumer confidence, all of that hit 19-year highs, so it's going pretty good. And NFP was they didn't add as many jobs as they wanted to last week, but unemployment still stayed low, and so the dollar, we're bullish. I think Powell does not want to cut rates anymore, so we're going to see the dollar kind of get its dominance back. And with that being said, I do see euro going lower because euro is still dealing with some political stuff, and the German auto industry and French PMI is struggling. I think it will continue to struggle. So we'll see what happens with them, because next week we do have the ECB stuff for the euro. So let's see what they do with their rates. But I doubt they might go for a cut. They've already been doing quantitative easing already. So at some point, there's going to be diminishing returns from cutting rates. So we'll see what happens next week. So next week will be interesting. but a pretty solid. And for yesterday, for the guys in the live session, I made it pretty clear that we drew this ascending channel, right? Because EURUSD, from the first time we shorted it, we got our 60 pips. It started to go into a retrace mode back to this this trend line from our descending channel in the monthly time frame. I drew this ascending channel, and I told you guys, if you see by this arrow, if we get a break, we're going to continue our short. We're going to enter short, and obviously we got a very clear break on the 1 hour, and we're melting. So these are our targets that are laid out. And I did say I was going to send this chart work on Telegram, but I asked the team, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion. So for those of you on chat and on Portal, importantly, do you want me to create a separate channel just for my chart work? Or do you want me to send in the chart work the same place I send signals? I think having a separate channel might be better, because some of you might just only want my chart work and not really care for the signals. And plus, there's people that are signal members and there's people that's trade room members, and so it might not be fair to the trade room members that people in the signal only service are getting all the chart work as well. So let me know what you guys think. But in yesterday's session, I made it clear as day. I even drew an arrow that once we get that break, we're just gonna melt out, and I'm pretty confident that next week we're gonna take out these targets. But ECB will definitely be interesting. We have ECB next week and the PMI, so for French and German. So it's going to be definitely an interesting week for the euro, and we'll see what happens. But currently we're resting around 30 pips in profit, so it's not bad. It is a Friday, so you might want to close out if you're in profit, or move your stops to entry, or take half, because the market's going to close within a few hours anyway, so be safe with that. So that was a nice trade that just got activated in the last 24. And then we had pound yen. Earlier in the week we had a short on pound yen. The idea is not up right now, but we took a short simply from resistance 143, and we had a target down here. Let me just plot the actual setup. So the setup looked something like this. Stop loss was pretty tight, and like this. So it was a nice around 2.0 risk reward. Off resistance, we had a nice push down. We got about, let's say, 70 pips in that move, around 70 pips, before price swang back up, and our partial position got stopped at entry. So that's fine, but you can see pound yen, the levels are so clean that this next resistance, price reacted so well to it, and pound yen started dropping. If you look to the left, you can see why we drew that level. Nice resistance here. Look left again, we can see when we went to that huge rally from Boris Johnson's winning the election, we came back down and we even capped under this level. So a very solid resistance. And if you caught this trade using our simple price action strategy, you could have been up another 50 pips. And so all we're going to look for next week, since this entry was missed, I was technically asleep, but anyways, next week we're going to look for a break below this next resistance right here, 143.425. If we get a bearish closure below, we're probably going to head lower, probably down back to this level or somewhere there. So a good amount of pips can be made there. So EURUSD, pound, yen for next week is going to be solid, but pretty solid setup. And at Forex Lens, we like to be transparent, so we don't always discuss our winners. I mean, we do discuss losses if they happen. And so one of them was Euro Yen. And I said this yesterday, and it's happening, and it's hurting my soul. I said yesterday that Euro Yen is going to become a short in the next day, and I'm going to be pretty mad about it. But basically, if you look at the analysis, it was on the 4 hour. We had a nice 4 hourly resistance zone right here. And so what we did in, I think, Tuesday, we had this rejection, this evening star, and this bearish candle as confirmation. I was like, okay, it's time to go short. We entered short. We went into around 5 pips of profit. And then this next candle just popped back up. And I'm like, that's interesting. And then this candle happened. So I was thinking maybe it's a break, retest, rejection. But we didn't get a candle closure below these previous highs. And so we ended up getting stopped around a 50 pip loss. And in yesterday's session, I'm like, I know for a fact that this thing is going to set up for a short. It's going to be annoying that way, and you can see it's probably going to start trickling down moving into next week. But that's okay. That's okay. We don't get attached to trades. This trade's available to take next week, so not too worried about it. And it goes in line with our EURUSD short. So we'll have EURUSD short, Euro Yen short, and Pound Yen short. So awesome. And Euro Yen's already shaping up to give us an entry. All we need is a close below this previous support. When we attempted to short earlier in the week, this level in particular where the horizontal ray is 122.200 is what we used as support. We came down here, support. So 3 days, 2-3 days of using it as a support. And currently right now price is stalling, struggling to break below. So Sunday and Monday we're going to look for a break below to continue our move down. Obviously we could go as far as down here, so all the way down here based on the previous range, or we could just end right here where our initial take profit was. So we'll see what happens, but either way it's a 2.33 risk reward setup. Why not take it? Hey, someone on YouTube, I am checking YouTube messages, so send me a shout out, any trade recommendations. Checking from Milwaukee. So Big G Dub said checking from Milwaukee. Growing my account using 1 to 2% takes a long time. Getting more and more consistent. So thanks for all the great help. No worries. And I know going for 1 to 2% is pretty slow, but that's what Forex is about. It's all about that slow compounded growth. It's like any other investment. It's like stocks or anything like that. Because when you risk too much, the ability to lose and blow your account out grows exponentially. So I always recommend, start with a good balance and trade based on your needs. So I know I'm taking a bit of I'm going a bit off topic here, but we'll look at the pairs after. But quick side note is, like, if you're trading Forex to pay your bills, you need to at least start with trading around 10 to 15K. Right, because 10K, 1% is 100, right? So you're aiming for 100 per trade. That makes sense, right? When your bills are probably like 8 to 1200 a month, depending on where you live. If you have a $500 account and you're trying to pay bills using Forex, that's not the way to go. You might have better luck going to the casino and just taking a gamble. So trade based on your expectations. If you want Forex to pay for your bills and you don't have enough money to trade with, start small, build it up, and work that 9 to 5. Once you have enough saved, go full-time trading, get good guidance, use a good strategy, and you're set. So I appreciate the kind comment, BG Dub. Hopefully I can continue to help you on your journey. Next trade, so this was our first loss, but it could be turned into a winner next week. Not too bothered. The other loss was USD Yen, so this pair, where's that chart we drew to this week? Oh, right here, cool. So similar story with USD Yen, and most of it's because of the US-China trade deal that was signed this week, but I didn't think it was going to be affected that much. I thought it was going to be already priced in. But another 45 pip loss. We had a similar entry on 4-hour resistance. We had the rejection. We had a evening star. I like to call it a teardrop candle to go short. But obviously price had other expectations and we got stopped out. So pretty annoying, but it happens. I mean, we had tons of winners. So let's talk about the winners. Change the mood. USD Yen. Now that we're bullish on the dollar, I'm not really looking to short anyways, but another winner we had, which was great, was NZDUSD, and this was a pair recommendation someone in our chat asked for, and we found a great setup not only for this week but moving into 2020. I'm bearish on NZDUSD. The analysis starts all the way from the weekly. Actually, we can even go to the monthly. So on the monthly, you can see we have a nice trend line dating back from 2014. We had a visit in 2018, and then you can see in 2020 on the monthly time frame. Look at the bearish candle we're printing on this trend line, off this trend line. This is a very nice rejection candle, and so I'm looking to go short back to this support region for NZDUSD. And you can see it's historically been a nice support dating back to 2004. So back to 2004, 16 years ago. This support region, this zone, has been a nice kind of support, kind of demand zone for NZD USD. So we're targeting that as a target. You can kind of see prices getting squeezed in. Sellers are just pushing and pushing and pushing NZD USD lower and lower, and so that's our overall long-term target. This week we got an intraday entry. Nothing too major, but we did get our 40 to 55 pips on this trade. Not bad. So it was a very simple. You can see the rejection on the trend line, and then we had a closure below support. All we did, very simple, was we drew a trend line like such, connecting our higher highs and higher lows. When we got the break of the trend line, we just shorted it. We even had a break, retest, rejection, and yeah, we didn't look back since. 50 pips on this one, and then since then our partial position did get stopped at an entry, but this is why we always, once we get to 25 pips or a take profit one, we close half our position and we take profits. We don't get greedy, because the forex market only gives profits to select few, and it only gives a select amount of profits, okay, so take what you can get and get out, and 50 pips is pretty good. So you can see, since we got stopped out our partial position, it did make a rally back to another key level that we drew, and since then it fell out, and now it's looking like a short again. So that's awesome for us. I'm not too worried about missing on this, but what we do have next week is we're probably going to be by Monday, by the end of Monday or midday, we're probably going to be back at 0.675843. And all we have to do from there on out is look for a break below that level, break somewhere down here, to continue our move to this key level. And we're going to just rinse and repeat, go down to the next one. So that's what we'll be looking for. Overall, the idea looks amazing. So we have a bunch of trades, and they're all shorts. And based on my track record for 7 years, I've always been able to identify shorts more than longs. My short trades are more accurate. I don't know why, but it's looking good. So NZDUSD, good profits, more to come. Another trade was USDCHF, and that was from another pair recommendation. Someone in the chat just said, hey, can you look at USDCHF? Or I think someone asked, can you teach me how to draw levels? And I taught him and actually found a setup in the process of doing so. So USDCHF, very simple trade idea. It's also a long-term trade, and we did go quite a way. So our entry was right here at 0.97 very little drawdown, very little drawdown at all, and we went far as 0.96147. So close to 85 pips on this trade. Since I sleep, I'm in Eastern time zone, I only got the first take profit, so I didn't get the rest of this. But many people, we have clients in Europe, Australia, China, Philippines, Malaysia, Africa, so US, so they catch it in different time zones, but profit's profit, so don't get greedy. That's why we aim for 300 pips per week, not only just because it's a nice number, but you're not over leveraging, right? 300 pips per week means 60 pips a day. That's doable without over leveraging, over risking your account. So pretty solid. This trade idea is still pretty valid. Yesterday we did talk that we could probably retrace back up, but the idea looks solid. We do have, I think, around another 100 pips to go to our final take profit. So next week we'll see if we can get an entry, but we already have like 4 or 5 trades in mind, so I'm not really looking to force that issue. And then last night, on my phone, I found a pretty decent kind of scalp mini trade, if you want to call it. That was a euro pound, quick little short. It was a very quick in and out trade, and boom. So this was a trade idea. It was based off a sell stop, and I don't really like using sell stops unless I'm going to sleep. I'd rather watch the price action. And it's called on Telegram. First take profit was hit. We almost had our second take profit hit as well. I think we were like 7 pips off, which is fine. As long as our first take profit was hit, a quick, I think 18 to 20 pips. I just thought we should get that just because the setup was there, and I was on my phone, and I'm like, we have to take this trade. So that's awesome. And I think I'm missing another trade, but Aussie. I'm missing Aussie. So I'm going to cover Aussie, and then we're going to do pair recommendations. So Awesome. You're gonna hold. So big G Dub's gonna hold NSD for the rest of the month. That's awesome. I'm gonna look at Aussie dollar. Then I'm gonna check the chat for any pair recommendations. That's on YouTube and our portal. I'll get you guys in a sec, and then we can move on from there. So Aussie dollar, we wanted to short this thing since Monday, and it was just taking forever. So Aussie dollar, on Monday's session, we drew this arrow. Basically, we were saying when price retraces up to this zone, we want a rejection candle to take us lower. And you can see on the daily, we had 4 days of just consolidation. So we finally have that bearish reaction, the rejection that we wanted. And we have our target in mind. It's all the way down here, 0.66970 or 0.67 and the 4-hour shows a pretty decent entry even right now. If today was Tuesday, I'd enter, but since it's Friday, I'm gonna hold out. But you can see, this is a push up into the resistance zone. We consolidated above this level. You can see support. That's why we draw that level, and when we got to break below that level, that's our guarantee, our confirmation that we're headed lower. And by the end of Monday, midday Monday, we'll be at 0.68500 at the bottom of this take profit region. And what we'll be looking for is a break below that level to take us lower, because it is a pretty good support. So that is all the pairs for the week I think I've covered.